What's going on, my sensational sinners? Please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel and become a sensational sinner. And I hope you guys have been staying out of trouble. Well, as for me, you know what they say, what's life without a little sin? And let me tell y'all, today we are dealing with one of the biggest sinners of them all. But hey, that's still up for debate, okay? So today we are reacting to the text messages between David and Celeste. Now, I don't know if you guys have been hiding under a rock, but David is like this young singer, and he makes music like, if I never heard of David until, this preliminary trial. Right now he's in a preliminary trial because he is being accused of unaliving his underage girlfriend, okay? And I've never heard of him before, but to me, I think I would equate him to like Travis Scott or a Lil Uzi. So he pretty much make music for all the weirdos out there. And listen, what would be the world without any weirdos? I love weirdos, okay? I'm just saying. But we're reacting to the text message that he has with his underage girlfriend. And I will say, hide the kids. These text messages are going to be very graphic. Please, put the kids away. Okay, this is for adult ears only, even though he's literally texting an underage child. But this video comes from Trapmore Ross. So shout out to his channel. I've never heard of him until the text messages dropped, but he's actually been in the trial. I think the preliminary trial lasted for a few days, but I think it's over now. But he was inside the courtroom and he brought us the text messages. So shout out to him for the content. I'm going to be reacting to his video while he's reading those text messages. Now, David is between 18 and 19 during these text messages, and Celeste is between 13 and 14 during these text messages. And the text messages start on November 25th of 2023. So this is literally like a few days after Thanksgiving, okay? But rest in peace to Celeste Hernandez. And also on this channel, when we react, we drink wine, or I drink wine. You can drink your water, your soda, your Coke, your Sprite, your vodka, but as you can see, normally I'm recording at night. It's literally midday, so I'm not drinking wine right now, but I'm gonna drink water in my wine glass, y'all. But let's go on and get it cracking with these text messages. I heard a lot about these text messages, y'all.
So the first thing that we were shown in court was a message from Celeste to David, where she said, "Currently manifesting my period because I refuse to have kids." David replied, "Did you miss your date?" And I, as soon as these messages started getting read in court, I noticed that David kind of like quivered his lips. He knew he was cooked, and he knew how bad this was. She said, David replied to her, where she said she's manifesting her period because she doesn't want to have kids. David replied, said, "Did you miss your date?" And he said, "You should start tracking using Flow." Now, this is an app that can be used for tracking periods. I've never used it. I've heard of it before. Not for myself. I've never dated anyone that's used it.
I have definitely used the Flow app. That's how I got pregnant with my second daughter. It's a good app. Shout out to the Flow app.
With you guys, I think they call it, there's a name for when people use tracking.
My thing is, what's scary to me is, like, he's a young adult himself. It's like, how do you even know about this app? And then you're talking to your underage girlfriend. That's so weird.
As contraception, and they have sex sometimes when it's less likely to get you pregnant. It can still happen, and I've always just thought that was fucking nonsense, to be honest with you. If I'm gonna have, sorry if it's TMI, but if I'm gonna have relations with someone, I practice very safe sex. If I'm gonna have relations with somebody, it's gonna be with protection. I don't want to have kids. I actually don't want children at all. Currently, as it stands, don't have any children. Don't want them ever. If that changes up, I'll be sure to let people know. But realistically, as it currently stands, don't want kids. Don't fancy the black boy. I don't want to have children.
So he kind of rambles.
Or on some kind of, just trust that he protected sex with ability as a man. Responsibility, and it should have been his responsibility, but he was trying to get her on the Flow app. All right, that's what we had from David. He's trying to get her on the Flow app. So after that, he would later follow up with her. He said, "I know that's why you should start tracking. It's ovulation week. It's important. I just need to make sure you're on top of your shit." Why wasn't this fucking piece of shit on top of his shit, just putting a condom on when he's going to do this illegal act? At the very
And you know what? I can agree with him because that is crazy. He's telling her, I'm trying to make sure you're on top of your shit. First off, you're not even supposed to be being intimate with a minor.
If you're going to abuse somebody that can't even consent and it is statutory R word, at the very least do the common courtesy of wearing protection. This guy's just a fucking piece of shit. Excuse my, I'm quite frustrated today, and like as time's settled down,
I love his accent. It's so funny.
like it's just made me more and more irritated with the stuff that I've seen in court. But it's absolutely your responsibility. The idea that he's telling this minor you need to be on top of your shit and get the flow app is absurd to me. So she would reply and she said, if I'm pregnant, I'm not having it. And after that message was read in court, Beth Silsman, the Deputy District Attorney, paused and said, can you just remind everybody how old she was at the time of this message being delivered? And the detective said 13.
I love that. Because they don't want you to forget. Because although you may be listening to this back and forth, he's literally texting a child.
It continued by sending a hyperlink to the Flow app. So he's doing marketing. Who knows? He might have even had a promo code. This guy was really out here sending. He sent the Apple Store the Apple Store link to the Flow app. Couldn't have just put a condom on, right? And she replied, and if I'm pregnant, I'm not having it. David replied, damn near impossible. We both didn't finish. Now, this guy is a moron. That's not how it works. I'm sorry if any...
Oh, my God. So he's saying it's impossible. We both didn't finish. Oh, my God. What that means, he's saying that he didn't, ejaculate inside of her. So it's impossible that she's pregnant.
If anybody is not very... didn't take sex ed or skip sex ed in school... you both not finishing doesn't necessarily mean you can't get pregnant. Certainly, as far as I'm aware, I don't think the woman needs to finish for the pregnancy to happen. And even for the man, you can release that material without finishing. And Celeste, she obviously trusted him and believed him.
Now listen, from my experience, now what he said about the woman not having to finish, that is absolutely true. But as far as the man, I have heard instances where they say that a woman can get pregnant from pre-com. Listen, that was never my experience. Y'all let me know down below in the comments if y'all, I don't know. I've heard that they said that you could. I don't know if that's a fact or not. That if he does not finish, he can still get pregnant. Let me know if y'all know somebody, whatever. That's true.
For him, as in a position of authority, he was older. He was supposed to be more experienced. So she replied to that, yeah, you're right, when he said it was damn near impossible. And he was lying to this girl. He was sending her up what's the phrase? Kind of is it sending her down the river? I don't know. Like
sending her up the creek without a paddle.
Being lied to by this older man that she trusted, and he's saying it's damn near impossible. We both didn't finish. What type of grade school sex education is this that this idiot had? Anyway, more texts were released from December the 1st, 2023. And in these messages, David texted her, and this was so dumb, because we heard this previous testimony that David had used pseudonyms to order some of these, despicable tools that may well have been used in the attempted or planned disposal and dismemberment of Celeste's body. David admitted to using the pseudonym that was on some of those packages. He sent her a message, said, I have different names and aliases and shit, though. I go by Travion Davis here. All my packages and everything. He said that on December the 1st, 2023. He didn't think, when he allegedly murdered this girl and ordered items to try and dispose of the body, he didn't think, I'm on iMessages telling the girl that this is an alias I use. And he said, all my packages and everything. I go by Trey.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know if y'all hear it or not. My freaking neighbor is cutting their grass. I know it's like midday, but it's like, why do it today?
Davis here. And Celeste replied, said, please be joking. David said, nah. So a little while later on December the 20th, 2023, about 1:47 p.m., they had another conversation. David messaged saying, this shit was fun as hell. And then David said this shit was fun as hell. Or that shit was fun as hell. TS was fun as hell. Celeste replied to that, do I take the plan B? So now we know what TS means.
Oh my gosh.
The shit that was fun as hell. Celeste replies, do I take the plan B? So we know what's going on. And David replies to that, this is so irritating. Take it sober too. If you don't feel any symptoms tomorrow, just take it tomorrow. You have 72 hours.
So she's drinking too.
He said, take it sober too. So you're out here partying, getting drunk, having this shit was fun with a 13-year-old minor, and you talk about take it sober.
Kids are so young and dumb, right? So Let me like the video. I haven't liked the video. The kids are so young and dumb. It's like, if you're reading the text messages between like a 18 and a 19-year-old or a 19 and a 21-year-old, you would just say they're freaking idiots. They're having crazy sex. They're taking Plan Bs. They're so irresponsible. And you would be like, okay, but it's like, because you are like a 18-year-old, technically, legal age, he's messaging a girl that's literally 11, 20. It's just like, it's disgusting. It's just, but it's crazy. Mentally, he's really a child himself, but you're not supposed to be with a minor.
So the following day, on December the 21st, 2023, at 6:30 p.m., David said, "Why not one band when you deserves 10? One band is $1,000. I don't know what the context of this conversation is. This is all they showed. But clearly, maybe she was asking. Maybe she was saying, can I get a band? Can I get $1,000? I need some money for this. I need some money for that. I don't know. But he said, why not one band when you deserve 10? And do you know what she replied? She said, 10? Well, because you fucked me 10 times. That's what she said to him. And he replied to that. And he said, it was 6 actually, baby.
This is crazy. This is too much. Why get one band when you deserve 10? I mean, when you dealing with a man with money, it's of consent. Oh, baby, that's lovely, lovely. Come on, send me the 10. I deserve it. Yes, absolutely. But this is a freaking child. And she said, because you fucked me 10 times. And he said, what? It was 7? 6? That is just so disgusting to me. It's just like, oh my God, this poor young girl. First off, even imagining her being the age that she is, having sex, and then you're having that much sex. Oh my gosh. And my thing is, listen, where are her parents? I'd like to know, where are her parents? I don't know, the whole case. I'm literally just getting involved in this. So y'all let me know down below. Did her parents file police reports? Did they go to the police? Did they know of this relationship? Because this is scary to me. Where are her parents?
And she said, how you know? And again, the deputy DA paused the courtroom, said, how old is she when this message was sent? Still 13. So the following year, not a whole year later, but 2 weeks or so later into the next year, on January the 8th, 2024.
And let me say this, it's around Christmas time. Okay, now he's jumping to January, because I guess they didn't read every messages they had between them. But that message that he just read about, the bands and all of that, that was literally a few days before Christmas. This child, this 13-year-old is supposed to be worrying about, I don't know, Santa Claus, presents under the tree, what her parents going to get her for Christmas. And she's up here talking about babies, unplanned pregnancy, Plan Bs. Like, this is crazy to me.
Celeste is still 13 at this point. David texted her. He said, I'm sorry again, baby. I didn't ever want to put you through this. And Celeste replied, no, it's okay. Don't worry. Both of us. Oh, sorry. She said, no, it's okay. Don't worry. Both of us aren't able to take care of it. So they're talking about the baby. They're talking about getting rid of the baby. They're talking about an abortion.
Oh, my gosh.
And bear in mind, this is just a couple of months where after David told this minor, it's damn near impossible if we both didn't finish. Disgusting. So after Celeste says to David, no, it's okay, don't worry, both of us aren't able to take care of it, David replied, I know, but still. Then Celeste replied, don't worry about it, my love. And David replied, you're so much stronger than me, baby. I love you.
This is so crazy. And you know what? She seems, they say that girls mature faster than boys, and I really believe that. So although she's like 13 years old and he's 18, I'm sure mentally, she probably mentally may be up there with him, because he's immature in the mind as well, and she's immature to a certain extent because they're young and dumb. So it does seem from the text messages she may be more mature than he is, but he's so child-minded. That's why I believe that when a older man goes and dates somebody like half his age, to me that's kind of like a mental capacity that you're in. You're mentally that young, because he sounds like he's literally 12, 13 himself.
Replied back to that, I love you more, my love. It's okay. Don't worry. Neither of us are capable of watching and taking care of the baby. And David replied to that, yeah, I know. A few hours passed. David replies to her once again, says, when are you going to get it done? Celeste says 2 days. David says, also, my mom always told me to ask this if I was in this situation. It's mine, right? And Celeste says,
Are you freaking joking me? Are you kidding me? Did this man just say, just say, my mom always told me to ask if I was in this situation. It's mine, right? What fucking difference does it make if it's yours or not? First off, she's aborting it. You guys are not having it. And second of all, he just sounds so fucking dumb. My mom told me to always ask this. What do you think that this girl got? This girl is 13 years old. Who else she's supposed to be fucking? This is crazy. My mom told me to ask, where is his mother? Now listen, I don't have any boys, but I definitely do believe in mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Okay. And I did tell myself that if I did have a son, we are definitely getting DNA tests every time, because the way things are going and the way these women are, oh, it's definitely wild out here. But it's just like, this is not the time to say that. But he's so young, so dumb. And it's like, you're getting rid of the baby anyway. It's just like, sometimes kids want to be in an adult situation so bad, but where the hell is his mother? Oh my gosh. It's like, does his mom know that he's sleeping with a 13-year-old? It's just, I'm speechless. This is crazy to me.
David. And David says, yeah, I know, baby. I just have to ask so I don't feel like a complete fuck up for her. He's talking about his mom.
So he won't feel like a complete fuck up for his mom. So I guess fucking the 13-year-old is not the complete fuck up. Okay, got it.
Now, his mum comes up later in a much more damning context, but I just found this very irritating because I'm sorry, Colleen Burke. Hopefully no one says this to her, but clearly you failed as a mother. And this despicable excuse of a son that you've got here, the only good advice that he had in the relationship front was, if you knock up a girl, make sure you ask if it's yours. People want to point the finger at Celeste's parents. Not deserved at all. They've been through enough, and I've seen them in court. They're definitely going through it. People are acting like they just don't care.
I disagree with that, respectfully.
Yeah, and they tried to stop this monster. But David's mother, Colleen Burke, really means that's the best advice that you had for your despicable, disgusting shit stain.
I don't know. For me, I kind of disagree with that, because David is a famous artist. And I believe that if my daughter's dealing with this famous artist, not only am I going to file police reports, we are in the world of media. I'm going to let him know it would be curtains for your ass. If your big grown behind come near my daughter, it'll be curtains for you. I'm going to go to TMZ. I'm going to go to whatever news station I got to go to. And guess what he would have did? Went on his way. And if he didn't, he would have learned that day playing with me. So I blame her parents. I blame her parents. I do. I feel like I'm not going to 100% blame them, because, I have kids. I have a teenager. I know how that goes. But more could have been done, in my personal opinion.
Use of a son who allegedly has murdered a little girl and groomed her years in, years out. That was the only advice you had. He said, my mum always told me if I was in this situation, ask, is it mine, right? And then for this absolute dirtbag to respond, look, I know, baby, I just have to ask so I don't feel like a complete fuck up for her. If you thought you was a complete fuck up by knocking up your girlfriend and not asking whether or not it was yours, what is this state of affairs that his life has become? If you thought that was a complete fuck up, I can't even fathom what monumental failure of a person you are. I'm really irritated. This trial has actually just taken a real toll on me emotionally, to be honest with you.
I believe
there
that.
might be some venom in this video, but these text messages are disgusting.
Yeah.
So that was the advice that we got from Supermom Colleen Burke. Make sure when you knock up a 13-year-old minor that you check it's yours. Now, I'm going to be real with you. The fact that he would even think that, I've got to ask her that it's mine because she might be sleeping around. This is a minor that you groomed. She ain't really got nothing else going on other than school.
Exactly.
She got nothing else going on other than school. She ain't at the club. She ain't rolling around getting scooped up by athletes like all these hot women that you see, these celebrities. This is a fucking minor.
Now, I'm not going to lie. In middle school, because I'm sure she's middle school age, they did have some girls cutting up in middle school. Now, listen. Woo! But I don't take Celeste as that type. I just don't look at her and say she looks very innocent. Like she's literally what they say 13. The girl literally looks like she's 8. So I don't take her as one of those, fast loose girls. I just don't. But I'm just saying, 13, 14, those girls were cutting up. At my middle school, they was.
Been in school. What do you mean I got to make sure that it's yours? My mum told me to make sure that it's yours.
That was dumb.
Give me a break. So the day after that, on January the 9th, David basically said, wait, the appointment's at 9, no? And Celeste replied, 9:30, and then posted some kind of emoji that wasn't recovered. David then replied, it should take 45. And then Celeste said, shut the F up. So then about...
So he said it should take 45, so I'm guessing they're talking about like an abortion appointment, and she told him to shut the fuck up. This is crazy to me. Is she annoyed with him that he told her that? My thing is, how does he know how long it takes? Who took her to this appointment? Who made the appointment? This is crazy. She's a minor. I mean, I can't wait. I don't know. There's so many questions still.
More than 45 minutes later, basically, David sent her another message saying, how did it go? And she just replied with an emoji and followed that up saying...
Now, this is the crazy thing. This shows how immature and how he's a fucking loser. First off, you're with a minor child. You get her pregnant. She goes to get an abortion and you text her, how did it go? And not called?
Be done. And she said like 10 minutes probably. 5 minutes after that little exchange, David follows up and he says, I feel like an N-word waiting for test results. This bothered me. Because I'll be honest with you, people get really riled up when I talk about race. I'm a white guy. It is what it is. I cover...
Well, clearly. My thing is, what test results he talking about? That's what I want to know, first off. Being black, I get the stereotype, whoop-de-dee-doo. But what test results you talking about? What test results he talking about? Because he better not be talking about no sick or no, none of that.
Of African-American artists, not just from America, but from the UK and other countries too. And I've covered plenty of white people of different races. Doesn't matter to me, right? I care about what you've done, what art you've made, what crimes you've committed, what your history is, what your legacy is. I really don't care. It's not a racial thing. But the idea that even David is perpetuating this sort of stereotype, said, I feel like an N-word waiting for test results. And that kind of pissed me off because it was almost like, bro, the closest thing to racism that David's experienced is people in articles calling him a rapper when he's a singer, right? And they're assuming because he's African-American, all right, let's say what it is. Assuming because he's black, he's a rapper. A black guy making music, people are presumptuous and call him a rapper. That's low-key that's a little tinge of racism. It's not serious.
Now, for me, I don't get it. I feel like you can be black or white to be that, but I'm not going to lie, the music that he make, it is like more of a white genre. Like, I mean, I don't know how I would describe him. He's not R&B. I don't know. To be honest, they need to carve out a section called depression, honestly, because I don't know. He's not R&B. I don't know, soul.
Racism, he's not being denied entry to somewhere because he's black, but them assuming because he makes music and he's black that he's a rapper is a little racist. But for him to be in the message when he's talking about knocking up this 13-year-old girlfriend of his, and he's waiting for her to get the abortion, and he says, I feel like an N-word waiting for test results. This guy's already sunk so low, he's already in hell, even though he's still alive. But for even just things like that, it's just like, bro, you just making just a mockery of yourself, your background, like for you to even say that,
right?
And you guys can just analyze that how you want. He said, I feel,
and you know what? As far as everybody had their little talk, honey. Listen, we're not gonna make it seem like everybody had their little talks with the stereotypes, the race, and all of this. I'm sure in private, he never expected these text messages to be exposed. Because we've all had, something to say funny about races and all this. But he never expected this to be exposed.
N-word waiting for test results. He said, I'm like waiting to hear about the process and shit. I keep asking LMAO. He's trying to make a joke out of it, saying,
Definitely not funny.
making a joke, using the N-word and kind of talking about a stereotype of like, I knocked this girl up and I'm leaving her to deal with the consequences or whatever. And then he kind of like redirects and he's like, oh, I'm really just waiting to hear about the process. I'm just really interested and intrigued. You, sir, are not interested or intrigued. You are trying to get your minor to get an abortion. You're trying to make sure that your crime is covered up. You've committed a crime and there is a crime inside that person right now. You trying to find out if they asked any questions. You trying to find out if she told them anything about you. You're trying to cover your own ass to the detriment of this minor that you got pregnant. Why wasn't you there with her? This is a crime.
Exactly. Right? That's why.
So a little bit of time passes and they're just having some chit chat. And we don't hear any more from the court about what happened with that actual abortion at the time. But Celeste replied, completely unrelated, I believe on the same day or sort of as part of the same thread. And she said, do you think I can put concealer on the tattoo yet? She's 13 still. And obviously she's got the David tattoo and then they've both got the matching shush tattoos. And she's talking about, I need to be able, do you think it's like enough time has passed from me getting the tattoo that I can put concealer on it to cover it up? And we didn't hear a reply from that. Now,
okay, now that's crazy to me. Now listen, y'all buckle it up. This gonna be, to be honest, I wish I had some wine in this glass if I knew it was gonna go this way. But buckle up. This is a long video. He's talking, I'm talking. This video is probably gonna run 2 hours, so y'all buckle up, sit tight, come back, watch it, pause it, whatever y'all got to do. But as a parent, she's talking about covering up the tattoo. It's like they didn't notice that she had a tattoo. They're not monitoring where she's going, who she's with. Now, for me, I don't know. Y'all let me know if missing persons reports were filed, if the parents did go to the police. I still feel like more could have been done because I never seen them on the news, when she was running off with the guy. But it's just like they got matching tattoos. She was able to do all of this. This girl had too much freedom.
The following month, on February the 10th, 2024.
Oh, and then a lie, because the video is long, I may just talk over him in the mic rather than pausing it each time as well.
We kind of see like a series of exchanges. And again, the court were reminded that she was 13 at this point.
Absolutely. And it's a few days before Valentine's Day.
So the first of note that was brought up was on February the 11th. It was around 11:28 in the morning. And David basically said to her, I can't believe this. David said to her, I see you on the 14th for V-Day. 15th is the operation. And Celeste replied, KK. Now, I was in the court, I was thinking, operation, like, is he getting surgery? Is she getting surgery? Is he getting her no way is he getting her some implants of some sort. That's crazy, but no. This operation was them moving in together. Right?
What?
So David basically replied when she said KK, all right, and she wasn't enthusiastic about the meeting up for Valentine's Day on the 14th and the 15th being the operation. She just said KK, and he said WTF? What the fuck? And then she replied, she said, Operation Awesome, gonna be so hard. So it transpired that they had a plan called Operation Awesome, where he was basically planning on using his security guard that was apparently living with him, or at some point lived with them.
Lock him up too.
To kidnap this minor from her family home in Lake Elsinore, to pull up at a stop sign and act like they were just stopping for a routine stop sign, and coordinate and plan for Celeste to run out of her home with her bags packed and the help of a privately hired security guard to kidnap this 13-year-old minor from her home and move her into this grown adult David's house, 18 years old at the time.
Wow.
This is days before the police came to his property. Okay? So she said, Operation Awesome going to be so hard. Operation Awesome. What kind of kiddie bullshit is this that this creep is doing? It's disgraceful. She said, hard as... This killed me. David said, hard as in hard to do or hard as in full Balenciaga fit hard?
That is so stupid.
She said, I don't know what to bring. David then replied in all caps, so like shouting, we've been over this for weeks.
What?
And then replied in normal text, anything that you use or can't replace immediately, you bring. Clothes you like, makeup, jewelry, shoes. Celeste then replied in all caps. She was clapping back. As I've said before, she was like a little firecracker. She wasn't always putting up with his shit. She wasn't scared of him, even then. So she replied all caps shouting back, she said, this kind of didn't make sense. So this is a little bit weird. She basically replied and she said, how? Oh, okay. She basically said, how am I going to bring it though? I don't have anything. And then he replied in all caps, I'm giving you 2 different duffel bags when I see you. And then he replied, I don't even get half of what I want to bring in the bag. So she said, can't even get half of what I want to bring in that bag, and I can't carry it. I'm too small. So in response to this, right, David said for Valentine's Day or for OA, which is Operation Awesome.
Okay, I about to say
and
what?
Celeste said for OA. I'm talking about Operation Awesome. It's too much. I won't say the name of the security guard.
I don't know why.
Crazy.
Why are you defending him?
David
the hell?
replied and said, do you want me and security guard to hide out somewhere and help you bring your stuff to the car?
See, and this type of protection and not wanting to expose people, maybe why Celeste is not alive today, because maybe her parents didn't want to go to the news, didn't want to go to social media, didn't want to ring the alarm. You have no reason to protect the security guard. He's literally trying to kidnap a child. He said they've been discussing this for weeks, which means that security guard know what's going on. Why protect him?
And Celeste replied, OMG, no, that's so embarrassing, dude. And David replied to that and said, baby, this is the most important day of your life next to the wedding. And you're worried about being embarrassed. And David said, we're not live streaming N-word. We're beating our phones back and getting, she said we're beating our phones. This didn't make sense. I don't know if I wrote this down wrong, but he basically said something like, we're not live streaming N-word. We beating our phones and beating our backs and getting the F out of there. Don't overthink it. Stop overcomplicating it. And then Celeste replied, STFU, shut the fuck up. David replied,
wow.
I'm serious. Celeste said, text you later, I'm cleaning. And David said, okay, love you. About to go finish the phone stuff and add service and shit. And that basically was a separate cell phone that David had given to Celeste. So he was saying, I need to go to the phone store. I need to go get the phone service set up. I'm getting you a secret phone. All right? So...
And you know what? That's what I was wondering when they were texting back and forth. I wondered to myself, were they texting on the secret phone? So she don't even have the secret phone yet. So her parents don't check her phone. When my child was 13, I damn sure checked that phone. I'm trying to figure out, why is her phone not being checked? Or do you not have access to the phone records? Like, that's just crazy to me that they were able to get all of this done like this.
Before I move on, I just want to reiterate how disgusting and disgraceful this is. So he said, do you want me and my private security guard, another grown man, to hide outside of your family's home, to hide out somewhere and help you bring the bag to your car? So you're offering yourself and another grown man who's employed to help you by Mogul Vision, who hired the security guard. You are basically saying, would you like us to hide out near your family home in the cover of darkness and just sneak around and help you bring your bags to the car so that we can kidnap you? And she's saying this is embarrassing. And he had the gall to say, this is the most important day of your life next to the wedding. This is a 13-year-old minor. You talking about this is the most important day of your life, that I'm going to kidnap you from your family home. And people want to blame the parents and say, what were they doing? They weren't doing anything. David had a private security guard that was willing to camp out overnight outside their home to snatch this little girl from their home. And you want to talk about what were the parents doing? This guy had an actual private hired security guard. God forbid the family didn't try and intervene and fight David's private security to stop their daughter being abducted.
Baby, that's what they make guns for. Sorry. Still, private security guard or not, cameras on the house. You come out there, you gonna meet your maker tonight. You ain't gonna leave with mine tonight. Parents could have definitely did more. Sorry, not sorry. Argue with your mama.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I actually wish the parents, I understand why the parents felt like they needed to leave the court, but I wonder if they're even aware of some of these details. So David basically got back to her, and they were speaking in the afternoon on Valentine's Day, February the 14th, 2024. And, this was around the time that she went missing, obviously, officially, and there were the wanted posters around for her, or the missing posters for her.
Wow.
But David kind of had a back and forth with her about the night.
I'm going to drink too.
About the plans for Operation Stop Sign. Sorry, Operation Awesome. David said, so explain to me what you want to do. I'll tell security he said the name, but I'm not going to say the name. He said, "I'll tell security, stop at the stop sign, and you run out and make and you make multiple trips out to the car." Celeste said, "Hell no, just tell him get to the stop sign." David then says, "So how are you going to carry the heavy bag?" Celeste said, "It's not going to be heavy if it's that small." David said, "No, you're supposed to use the duffel bag I got you and what you used last time. What you used last time, if that's bigger, just use that." And Celeste said, "I literally don't have anything to pack with." She sent an emoji that's unknown, and she said, she's just said, "I got a tote bag." David said, "Why?"
And this is the thing that's so crazy to me too. You know, my thing is, you got all of this money. You talking about one band versus 10 band. Baby, let her leave all of it and just come on out the house, okay? Because, listen, he kidnapped her anyway. So, listen, it don't make sense plotting and planning, talking about, oh, bring these clothes. Baby, you rich. Tell her to come on and walk on out the house since you want to kidnap her. Why are they going back and forth about who bringing what clothes, this? No, you rich. You go rebuy it all. Since you so big and bad, rebuy it all.
Tell me N-word. And that was all caps. So she said, "Why you ain't tell me N-word?" And she says, "I did." David said, "Third Birkin then, fuck it." So he's joking like, "Oh, I guess I'll get you another Birkin. I'll get you a Birkin bag, right?" And then he said, which was super creepy, he said, "But garbage bag method." So I guess garbage bag method is just like throw everything in there, throw everything into a garbage bag and just bring that.
Wow.
Celeste said no. David said, "You have too much stuff for that little ass duffel bag. Why didn't you ask for a bigger bag?" And this doesn't make any sense. He said, "You can't fuck that little ass dog or tuck that little ass." I think it meant to say you can't pack that little ass bag. But I think it was a typo because when I wrote that, I was like, wait, what? So a little bit more time goes on, and sort of later on in the afternoon, around 2:38 p.m., they continue talking. Celeste messages David and says, "It fit." David basically gets back and says, "Me and my security are going to be there at 11:50 p.m. So just before midnight, under the cover of darkness, him and his private security guard are going to pull up to their family home in Lake Elsinore.
It's crazy.
And bear in mind, we heard rumors that Celeste's mother was locking her in the room and sleeping in the same room with her so she couldn't sneak out. When people say, what were the parents doing? The parents were doing their best job. And this guy was pulling up with private security in his Tesla in the middle of the night and doing an Operation Awesome.
Listen, I get that. Obviously, they said the mama was locking herself in a room and sleeping with her so she won't get out. But it just so happened this night she wasn't sleeping in the room and she was able to get out. Do we have proof that the mama was sleeping in the room and locking it, or did they say that just so nobody will come down on them? Because if that was the case, how he got her out the house? And second of all, did they go, before this happened, did they go to the public? Because I've never heard of this case until after the death, after the unaliving, okay? I never heard of this case before then. I never heard of him, going to jail for being with this girl, which it seems like they were having intimate moments and all of that. Why was he not in jail for being intimate with this child? So I'm still blaming the parents. Yes, absolutely.
Doing a military-style operation based on timing. How is a parent supposed to contend with that? They can't even keep this little girl from having a phone. He's given her secret phones, and they're communicating on different phones. And apparently, this other phone that David gave her was never found. So after that, Celeste then a little bit more time went by, and I guess this was just right before it happened. Celeste texted David saying, "Hey." David said, "Hey, my love. Asked you 1,000 times, LMAO. You ready for this?" And Celeste said, "Yeah." And that was the last that we heard of it. Obviously, she went missing. The police came to his house. We saw the body cam right at the start of these hearings.
Wow.
And it was very, very clear that, he had something to hide. Now, it would have been a different story if we'd have heard all of that stuff, and then we would have seen this body cam footage of him lying to the police, being like, "Oh, I never really heard of her. Like, I think she told me she was 18, but they'd be saying she's 13. I've seen the missing poster." So Operation Awesome has gone down, and then the cops are going to his house. All right, we're seeing that on body cam. That's crazy. So a bunch of months passed by now. Now we're in June of 2024.
Okay.
And she's still 13 years old, but David is now 19 years old at this point in the year. She's a few months away from her 14th birthday, and that was her last birthday she was alive for.
Unfortunately.
So, on the 9th of June at 11:52 p.m., Celeste would message David, and this is going to get a little bit gross and a little bit graphic, and I'm going to be careful about what I say and what I read. But basically, Celeste would message David and say, "What you doing?" And then follow up saying, "My crack itchy." And then David would reply saying, "My balls sticky."
What?
The following day at 8 a.m., all right, Celeste said, "I'm going to shower right now." So I'm feeling like they're probably in the same property, sending texts inside the house in different rooms, in a big-ass house in Hollywood Hills, in different rooms. That's what I'm deducing from this. So she said, "I'm going to shower right now." David replies, said, "Bet, wash your ass for real, since it was itchy last night. You know what that means." And she replies, "Ooh, my thing was up my ass. It's dirty."
Oh my gosh. What?
And then David replies, "It got stained." And then C replies, "I feel sore as fuck."
Oh my gosh.
There's some kind of emoji that we couldn't see, or a GIF. And then David replied, clapping them cheeks. Now,
Okay, so for me, is this like anal sex that they were having? Because I'm not going to lie. Listen, David is weird. And for me, I don't consider David, I don't look at David and say, oh, that's a straight man. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm going to say the elephant in the room, okay? I don't think that David is a straight guy. I think he may be bi at best. But now it seems like they're talking about anal sex he have this girl having. This is crazy. Go get a man. This is wild. And then the whole them texting, my butt crack wet and this right here. I don't think we're in the same house. I think sometimes when hours go by, you haven't spoke to a person, you may send like a hey or something crazy. So I think that maybe he's somewhere else and maybe she's at the house.
I think you can imagine what they had going on, but it's not good. Later on, Celeste would contact David separately and basically say, "What if the first abortion didn't work?" David said, "You would have a baby bump. You had hella periods since. What are you smoking?" A little time passed, and then Celeste...
Now, this just shows how she's really a child. She's talking about what if the first, abortion didn't take, and she's had periods. She doesn't even know how stuff works. She doesn't even know because she's such a child and she's young. But she probably think because, I don't know, maybe she got symptoms, she eating a lot, she sleeping a lot, she still may be pregnant. And I have heard cases before, I believe, where women have had regular cycles and still pregnant. But that's just to show how young she is.
David, on a separate occasion, I didn't get the exact date, but it was between June the 11th and June... Sorry, between the 10th and the 13th. So I didn't get the exact date, but it was between June and 10th and 13th.
Okay.
Celeste messaged David and said, and I'm assuming they're sort of cohabiting at this point, or at least they're spending a lot of time together. Celeste says, "We need to record everything we do for when we don't see each other." David replied, "For real, for real." Celeste said, "You deserve the best head in the world."
What?
David said, "I love you. You deserve better head." He said, "I miss you. We recording everything."
See, this just shows how she's just being trained. You deserve the best head in the world and all that. So this shows they did have moments where they were away from each other like I thought. And oh my gosh.
Like we used to. And bear in mind, this testimony is coming after they've confirmed 48 illegal videos had been found on his phone.
Wow.
So a couple of days later, on June the 13th, actually, my bad. This was all on the 13th. So those last messages were on the 13th. Now, this continues into the day on the 13th. Celeste says, "I sent you a titty vid on Instagram. Open it tomorrow." David said, "I just opened it and Will jumped." And apparently Will, according to the detective, is a nickname for his thing, his wiener. In the UK, they call it a willy. I don't know if you ever heard that. People call it a willy. Maybe it's a UKism. They did go to the UK. I don't know.
And so with these dates, I hope you guys are not getting confused. I believe he's reading these dates. We're in the year 2024. The alleged unaliving that they're saying happened around April 2025.
Celeste sent him another message saying, "We need a makeout vid. We only had kisses." And then David replied, "Dead ass, no more pics, more vids." Celeste replied, "Need a pic of my angle of you giving me back shots."
Oh my god.
And David sent another message to her saying, "August 11th to the 17th, Vegas, baby, booked, Trump Hotel." And you know what Celeste replied to his dumbass? Celeste said, "How much did your dumbass pay?" to stay at the Trump Hotel. So I ain't gonna lie, he tricking on her, talking about bags and all this other stuff.
And see, this is my thing. Had he was dealing with a person, a girl his age, or a grown woman, that's the flex. Vegas hotel, bags, this right here. This little girl don't want you spending no money on her. This little girl probably wanted to go to Disneyland somewhere. She don't even understand how money works. How when you trick, oh, he tricking off me, he's spending money on me. This girl, these kids, she's a child. She don't care about that. She don't care about Trump Hotel. She don't care about Vegas. He could have damn well bought her a damn, I don't know. He could have bought her a laptop and that would have made her happy. It's like, come on now. Kids, she's a child.
You're talking about, book the hotel for the Trump Hotel. She ain't like, yeah, baby, thank you. She like, how much did your dumb ass pay? This guy was a dumb trick, even when he's messing with the minor, which is just embarrassing for him. And I'm delighted to see that. A little bit of time passes by, and David sent another message. You know what he said? He said, I can't wait to move in together without cops bitching, baby. I'll see you more and take you out every day. And she said, I miss you so much. And then he replied, you're going to be with me everywhere. Now, what's crazy about that is it's like he's talking about, oh, I can't wait to move in together without cops bitching. How on earth did this guy think after the cops had already been to his house and the cops were bitching because there's a missing minor, you're doing Operation Awesome, kidnapping a minor with your security? How did you think you could just be on your phone talking about, oh, I can't wait to move in with this minor, cops are bitching, I'm going to take you out every day? This guy is actually disconnected from reality, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
So a little bit of time passed. And David sent a message saying, 4-year vacation, slide back. This is what he was saying that they were going to do. He was saying this kind of out of nowhere, like a gap of time passes. I don't know what message was sent in between. But he said, 4-year vacation, slide back, get the rest of your documents, and we get married in Italy and dip out the country.
So funny.
So he's basically saying, get your passport and we're going to dip out the country and go get married in Italy. This is still a 13-year-old. What do you mean get married in Italy?
Marriage.
To a minor. And then Celeste just replied, David. And then David replied, LMFAO. After all these OAs, we can finally make it happen without all these police and posters.
You're doing something illegal.
So I've just looked up what OAs meant, and they didn't define that in court, and I didn't really get a clear explanation. I'm not actually finding that out. Maybe someone can let me know in the comments, but he said after all these OAs, we can finally make it happen without all these police and posters. So a little bit of time would pass, and then Celeste would message him again saying, I got dem pregnancy symptoms. I don't like this. David would reply, it's okay, LMAO, we don't know for sure. Celeste would reply, what if the first... I can't even believe it. What if the first abortion didn't work? And David replied, you would have a baby bump, LMAO. You had hella periods. But nah, first baby gone. And she said, I hope. Talking about first baby gone. How many times did they go through this? It's not clear. They didn't at any point during the proceedings say that, like, hello. They didn't at any point during the proceedings say, like, oh, there was confirmed 3 abortions, 2 abortions. It felt like there was at least 2 talked about. Oh, okay, I see what you got going on here. Get
the cat out the way.
It's not time. Okay, all right. You are interrupting my journalism, sir. Try it again. Don't try it again. We're not... Do it, no.
I'm gonna fast forward, guys.
I have to tuck these into the notebook so you can... That's not inappropriate otherwise. Anyway, guys, sorry. So from there, actually, we did have a break. So that actually was an appropriate time for this cute little guy to interrupt me. But basically, after that, there was a break. That's when I kind of did a couple of little updates on some of the details that I had heard for you guys. You probably saw that on my social media.
I did.
Thoughts and TikToks and whatever. But after we came back from the break, we just got straight back into the testimony. So from there... David sent her a message, a longer-ish message, and it was once again about the abortion issue. He said, let's let this abortion be our last one until we have the real one.
Oh, Lord.
If you're actually pregnant, if we have twins, cool. We wanted 2. Anything more, and it's going to be adoption.
So stupid.
I'm going to read that to you again just so you fully understand what nonsense this guy is saying to this girl. He's selling her a dream and lying to her, in my opinion. He said, let's let this abortion be our last one. So at least 2... Sounds like this could be as many as 3. He is sending this.
Yeah.
She's still 13. She's sending this minor to get abortion after abortion. It's a joke.
And who took her?
Let's let this abortion be our last one till we have the real one. If you're actually pregnant, if we have
the real one, as if the baby was a fake one. So stupid.
Cool. We wanted to. Anything more is adoption. Selling her a dream so that she goes and gets the abortion, gets rid of the evidence. That's really what he's looking for. He's selling her a dream so she does what he wants. She replies, but what if they're the same gender? And David said, damn, didn't think of that. He's selling a dream.
Oh my
He said, we
gosh.
have a clear vision of how we want to build our family, right? We have a clear vision of how we want to build our family, right? She posted some kind of emoji that wasn't seen. And you know what he said after that? He said, I don't want your pussy getting crazy loose.
What?
He said, and I also got another...
This is crazy. That boy said, I don't want your pee to get crazy loose. Okay. Right, because he likes it tight. Because like I said, I believe he's bisexual. So he wants it tight, baby. God forbid a woman actually have a child and have a baby come out the vagina. But that's crazy that he said, I don't want your pee to get crazy loose. To literally, what, a 12, 13-year-old girl? Oh, my gosh. This is crazy. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is crazy. This boy don't have a clue, don't care, using this girl up. It's just sucked that her parents just couldn't do more.
His credit card approved for you to use. So whatever you buy is a tax write-off in LA. Clothes, food, and whatever you want, you can buy. He is selling her a dream. Isn't it convenient? And for him to say that I don't want your pee getting crazy loose is disgusting. But this is a minor. But after that, he's dropping, oh, by the way, I got you a business card. You can buy anything you want. Just get that abortion done. That's the vibe that he's giving off. So, ironically, after she basically is told that she can have a business credit card and buy whatever she wants as a tax write-off, which sounds to me like the IRS maybe should look into David and Mogul Vision if that's what was going on. But she replies the female symbol. So I guess that saved. It wasn't an emoji. It was like, I guess like you could type that as a figure into a phone and into like key codes. You know, it's like, you know, you've got all the 26 letters of the alphabet and dollar signs and things like that can actually be reproduced by the Apple's keyboard. So I guess the sort of female sex symbol, you know, the opposite of like what Austin Powers used to wear on a chain. That's the best reference point I can even think of on the spot. But basically, that is essentially what she replies. So she just sends the female sex symbol back to him saying that you can have an unlimited company credit card on the company dime. And then she just sends another message saying jewelry, smiley face. So she low-key taking
jewelry.
He's got, and I respect it, to be honest. She
said she's taking him for all he's got. This girl don't know what it means to take nobody from all he's got. She's a child. When this woman put jewelry in there, she may be talking about costume jewelry. This girl probably not even talking about a big old piece of jewelry costs $100,000. This is crazy. Jewelry.
She's treating him like a diabolical trick. And, you know, he's just a sucker and a simp that's just going for it with this minor. Absolute.
No, he's a pedophile.
Absolute clown. If she wasn't a minor, this would be low-key embarrassing. But anyway, it's even worse and despicable and illegal. And you know, we're gonna see how that all works out for him. Now, after that, David sends her another message. And again, it's like, bear in mind, he's giving her all this spiel. Oh, you're going to have, you know, we're going to have kids, and we're going to have twins, and we're going to just get the abortion, and you're going to have an unlimited credit card, and jewelry, And then he follows up. He says, I just don't want no posters, and you've got to be able to get on planes. I can pay you and give you a credit card so you don't have to worry about the money part. And when he says I can pay you, I'm not going to lie, that sounded a little bit like he was talking about giving her a job, putting her on the payroll. It wasn't, I can send you money, I can send you a band, I can send you 10 bands. It was, he's licking me. It was, I can pay you. You can get on planes now. Was he employing her? Was Mogul Vision employing her?
Could be.
He said that we don't have to worry about the money part. I just don't want no posters. And you've got to be able to get on planes. So full-blown international trafficking. Definitely interstate trafficking because she went to Texas. But full-blown international trafficking took her to London. Absolutely insane.
Wow.
So they would continue their discourse on June the 14th, 2024 at 10:21 p.m. When Celeste would say, Plan B pic might look cute in there, though. And if you remember, I told you earlier that she basically took a picture that was almost like... Imagine like you taking a pic. Imagine I'm taking a pic of my cat right now, and then I'm holding a bottle of Plan B in front of him. Like, you know what I'm gonna do? Pretend this hand sanitizer is Plan B.
Okay.
And pretend my lovely cat.
I love the visuals.
Is David. All right. Imagine the hand sanitizer is Plan B, and the cat is David.
Okay.
She's posting pictures. We saw in court a picture like this. Can you see that? Let me turn the
No.
brightness down. That might be a problem.
We cannot
I
see.
just want to illustrate this just very obviously.
Show us. We still can't see.
I'm going to get it in focus. It's going to be worth it.
Can't see. Come on.
Hang on.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Behind the scenes now. Okay.
That's crazy.
So imagine that's Plan B and that's David, right? There you
That's
go.
a cute cat.
Thank you. You came in handy. You work.
He's so cute. I don't like animals though, but he's cute.
So imagine that. All right. That's an image that we're shown earlier on. This image of this Plan B, along with a bunch of selfies of them two together. You can see both of their faces bright and clear.
Wow.
Celeste says, I think that Plan B pic might look cute in there. So I guess he's doing some kind of like Instagram carousel, or he's doing a post.
That is not the flex that they want that to be.
And David says, oh yeah, send it to me. OMG, dude, our first Plan B pic is effing gone. No, OMG, dude, our first Plan B video is effing gone. I'm so mad.
What?
She says, for real? And David says, unless you have it somewhere. And she says, no. And then she posts an emoji over and over and over again for a whole line.
It's not cute.
Now, after that, she says, should I add one of these into the post? And then David says, is between this emoji or this emoji? Unfortunately, we don't get to see what they are. And then she said, or this because someone in the background too. It's a girl's name. I don't know who. But he said it's between this or this, two different emojis, or this because blank in the background too. And then Celeste replied, pick Plan B, the blurry one though. And we did see that Plan B image a few different times from different angles, and one of them was blurrier than others. So I guess, you know, she on this thing of like, it's cool aesthetic to show the more blurry version of the picture. But the fact that he even considered posting up a picture of the Plan B next to him, I don't even know if that got posted. I don't know if that was something that circulated on the Reddit or something. But after that, David said, I want to repost. She said, I want to repost and post about you type of vibe. So basically it's like he wants to be able to post, but she can't be in it. And bear in mind, we saw these other images going around social media, like her with
hand.
her arm around David, or her with her arm in the frame, or her with her face covered up. He wanted to post her. He wanted to show her off. This was kind of part of his whole little deceit and thing that he had going on with her, where he basically like, he couldn't show that she was a minor, but he wanted to tease and put clues out there and show her. And she said, oh, you can't see my hair there. It's red. I don't know if that was...
I don't know. It's still hard for me to kind of get the whole story of it all. Like, did the parents know that she was messing with him? Because if he's in real time posted, if she's missing and videos are being posted, I'm sure they know their daughter's hand. It's like, did they not know? Like, I need to know more. Because for me, I'm blaming the parents until I have clarity on that. But you guys, if you guys are still here, we are halfway through with this video, okay? If y'all still here, you guys are my people if y'all still here. Please do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a sensational sinner. Let me know y'all thoughts on this video. This is crazy on these text messages. I believe that there is going to be a trial because there's so much evidence and there's so much that probably they're not exposing and showing right now. Like, this trial is going to be crazy.
Can't see my hair's there, or if it was like you can't see my hair there but it's red. So after this, I'm gonna have to go and do my research into this, because she basically said I'm gonna look it up real quick. Okay, so I actually wrote down two names that were mentioned in the court, and I was thinking, I swear I've heard one of these mentioned in previous posts on Reddit, but I've just looked up the post I was thinking of, and actually it was not who I thought it was. So these are two names that I hadn't heard before. I thought I'd heard, but I actually hadn't heard. I'm not going to say who they are, but it sounded like they were people that were related to Celeste. So Celeste said, not this person or that person, thinking I got straight hair and red hair. And then David replied, surely they remember what your hands look like. You're recognizable. Now, the context that was given in the courtroom was that it was basically like David saying, I want to be able to repost you, but I'm not sure. Can you see your hair? Can you see your hands? They can remember what your hands look like. Basically, conspiring to say, I want to post you on my story, but like, if people that are looking for you see your hands, they're going to work out that it's you. That's what was kind of allegedly being discussed there. So a little bit of time passes, and they kind of remind the courtroom that David's 19, Celeste is still 13 at this point.
Oh my gosh, that is
so out of nowhere, later on that month of June,
19 and
Celeste
13
drops
is crazy.
David a text. She says, I miss fucking. David says, I know.
Wow.
Now that I think about it, we got really good at sex, bruh. So a little while after that, on June the 19th at 1:18 a.m., Celeste would then message David and say, your mum know we had sex yet? David would reply, and this is verbatim what was said in the courtroom and in the messages. I wrote this down. I was very careful to write this down exactly because I was probably paraphrasing earlier. She said, your mum know we had sex yet? David said, word for word, she thinks that's the first thing we're going to do when we see each other.
Okay, that's crazy. So his mom is aware that he is literally with the child and she's okay with it. And then earlier he said he doesn't want to fail her. It's not like she failed him, because that is disgusting. And it's like, how much did the parents know? Did you not know that this child was missing and she needed to get back home? Like, they need to do the trial, because I need to find out what's going on with the parents.
Thinks that's the first thing we're going to do when we see each other. She thinks that's the first thing we're going to do when we see each other. She said, your mum know we have sex yet. He's 19, she's 13. He says she thinks that's the first thing we're going to do when we see each other. Now, at some point, right, what's really interesting, not yet, but in a few months' time, so clearly David's mother was aware of Celeste.
Yeah.
Clearly there were at least inferences and assumptions about some kind of sexual relationship going on between them. And eventually they would meet. We know that's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know what David's mum was thinking of this. Other than giving him advice, making sure, make sure that you ask her that the baby's yours if you knock up a minor. I'd love to know what his mother kind of, had to say about all this. So later on, Celeste messages David again, said, I can see you and sleep over. Just don't get me pregnant, please.
Wow.
And David replies, we've done a good job the past few months, baby.
This is crazy. For him to say we've done a good job these past few months, that means this girl's probably got so many abortions then if they've been doing good these past few months. This is so crazy. She said, don't get me pregnant, please. Put on protection. Listen, you have men that don't give a damn, okay? You got to go get an abortion. That's on your body. They just don't care. And this is technically, he's 19, but he's still a boy. He doesn't care about if he gets her pregnant or not. He doesn't care.
And she said, this is how I wrote, maybe I wrote this wrong. It said, how last time was the only time pregnant, fucked up condom in December. So it sounds like he's basically saying, the last time was the only time you got pregnant recently from the effed up condom. But that sentence was kind of a little bit disjointed. That was exactly how I wrote it down.
Wow.
So I don't know unless I misphrased a little bit of that or it was a typo. So on June the 23rd, 2024, at 10:59 p.m., David messages Celeste and says, rate sex today out of 10. And Celeste sends back an emoji. Probably one of those emojis that's like a square with the number in it. There's like an emoji for each for numbers, right? I'm pretty sure you can do a 10 emoji. But anyway, sends back an emoji, right?
Wow.
Maybe it was a 1. So 1 out of 10. Shit. Weirdo. Creep. Maybe. So they had a back and forth. Celeste then followed up and said, I love you more. And said, I don't know. Shit felt good. She said, I don't know. I don't know. Shit felt so good. So maybe she's not given the 10. Or maybe the emoji was like, don't know. I don't know. Shit felt so good. Anyway, David would basically go on to say, I need more hickeys. And Celeste would reply, my titties are sore. and my pussy. And once again, the court
This
would
is
be
crazy.
reminded of their ages at the time.
That's the perfect time to remind
Now,
you.
it's ironic that came up because this picture had been going around for quite some time. Now we know that this is Celeste.
Oh, wow.
Right?
I would have never guessed that was her.
We've seen the unredacted images from the courthouse.
And he
that
has a
basically
hickey.
actually just show him in the car taking these selfies with her.
And he has the
And he had
hickey on
same
his
hair,
neck.
various different poses, various different days, but we knew he was in the Tesla kissing on her and taking pictures with her now, okay? And you can see he's got a hickey on his neck. And so we now know that there in messages, David's talking about, I need more hickeys, right? And then we got the date on that one, right? So it's all adding up, it's all lining up, all right? This was all real. They was together, and they had hella selfies where you could see her full face. I think we might well have actually seen this full image. And I'm going to say something I forgot to say in my last video. But they actually did say in court that during some of the illegal videos where he was doing mouth stuff, he was identifiable by the black spot sticker on his head that he was apparently wearing in other pictures taken around the same time. This guy's an idiot, and he's disgusting. He's a PDF, okay?
Absolutely.
So we saw pictures looked like they were from this same day where we were seeing Celeste. A lot of these pictures that you've seen here, we saw, clearly they probably took 6 or 7 pictures on this occasion where Celeste appeared just bait-faced in a few of them, right? So we actually saw the sort of real-life, real-deal accompanying pics that would go along with these sort of teaser pics, including an even better, higher quality close-up of the engagement ring, etc. But he was often identifiable with this stupid
engagement ring. What?
Now, some people have called me out for wearing spot star stickers. At the end of the day, look, we all get acne, whether you're a diabolical PDF like David or a little internet Reddit nerd like me. Now, the use of the star sticker isn't indicative of anything, but that helped them identify this clown when he was doing despicable stuff, all right? For me, sometimes I just get acne. My skin's been pretty oily from the courthouse. I'm not going to lie. Some of those videos wasn't looking good.
I get it.
But who cares about any of that? I'm just pointing out that those spot stars were brought up. They were apparently included in several of the illegal videos, and it was just another little bit of icing on the cake of David being cooked. Anyway, it just gets worse and worse. So David would contact her another time in June 2024, and he would say, let me know if I'm ever too rough, baby.
He ain't gonna change.
She says, you're not, but it's sore. Later that day, apparently that very day, June the 24th, 2024, when those messages have gone back and forth, this lined up with 9 illegal videos that specifically were taken and found on his phone, particularly pictures where mouth stuff was happening. And there were pictures of him with his face next to the most sensitive area of your body that you wouldn't show in public, let's say.
Yeah.
Most. So a few days passed by. On June the 26th,
For anybody that
there will be more videos
for anybody that missed that's the private area, okay? The hoo-ha.
David doing mouth stuff. And then that same day, Celeste would text David on that day and say, give me a sex. And David would reply, KKK. That's what they said. The following day at 9 a.m., so the next morning, Celeste would message David, all caps, saying, we fucked, and it hurt, and it hit, SMMMM, so much. And then David replied, he said, nah. Oh no, I think it was nah. I remember every time you say ow when we F. He said fuck. I'll just say it. Who knows? I'm just gonna have to say it at this point. This video is just I just want you to know what he said. He said, nah, I remember every time you say ow when we fuck. Last time you didn't say it once.
Oh, okay, he's counting.
And Celeste replied, I ran to the bathroom, my pussy and butt hurty.
What?
And David replied, that was just pussy.
That is so disgusting. Oh my God, this girl she's just like a 3-hole wonder to this man. Boy. That girl say her butt and her, oh my God, this is crazy. And I heard they said they told the parents to get out of the court. Absolutely. What parent wants to hear this? Oh my gosh.
That was just pussy, stop the cap. And then she replied, tender and hurty, so hurtness. And so she kind of talking to him in this baby voice. Maybe he liked that. But she talking about tender and hurty. It's so hurty. That's like infantilizing kind of way to talk. She's talking about so hurty. On July the 9th, 2024 at 1:25 a.m., David messaged her. He said, I'm thinking about your abortion gift. Maybe, I guess another one was coming.
Abortion gift.
She said to him, I want Balenciaga hourglass purse.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, I thought maybe Celeste didn't know what tricking. Okay, well, she said Balenciaga. Oh, she learned real quick. Looked like it. Balenciaga purse. All right.
I've never seen one of these. Let me look that up. So I guess this is the purse that she was looking for. Balenciaga hourglass purse. I've never seen one of these before. It's kind of interesting shape.
She got expensive
That's what
taste.
she wanted. And they retail for $2,900. Some of them are going on the secondary market, an older one for $900. So that's what apparently she was looking to have for her abortion gift.
That's a mess, abortion gift.
So I lost my page there.
You know what? I'm not going to judge too much. Some people get a lot less, okay? So if she get a little abortion gift, some people don't get that, okay? So whatever. Sad is sad.
This is crazy. So she then said to him, do you ever just sit there and think, we have a whole ass sex tape? And David replied, a few of them, yeah. And Celeste replied, 15, no. Wait, hang on. A few of them, yeah. I don't know if I didn't write this right, but I think she said a few of them, yeah. She did say this. I was really thinking, no way did I write that. That's actually what was said, but no. He said a few of them, yeah. And she said 15, no. Or no, 15, no leak it, please. And let me read this sentence again, because I was kind of thinking like, that don't make sense. But now actually I've thought about it makes sense. Mm-hmm. She said, you ever just think we have a whole ass sex tape? He said, few of them, yeah. She said 15, no leak it, please. And he replied, N-word, you don't leak it.
Right.
That's an illegal video. Imagine. So the idea that like he murdered her because she was going to expose him, he gave her that ammunition. They're encouraging each other to record this illegal videos. And surely at some point he considered the possibility.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's making jokes talking about you don't leak it. So a day after that, on July the 10th, 2024, at 11:21 p.m., Celeste messaged David and said, does anyone even know we even had sex? And I feel like this is when we're starting to see a sort of suspicious side of her coming out. She's starting to realise, what's this fucking creep got me into? She says, does anyone even know that we even had sex? And then she follows up. She says, then let's get married next year and make the baby simply. And David replied, nope, and I would like to keep it that way before we're married. David then sends her a message saying, can I fuck you pressed up against the window in Vegas? Celeste says, want to. And David says, want to fuck everywhere. We still ain't fuck on the couch yet. And Celeste said, let me F you on the couch. I'm going to stop saying fuck. Fuck it. Celeste says, let me fuck you on the couch next time, baby. I'm going to ride that shit.
Oh, wow.
And then David said, yes, mommy. And then David basically goes on to say, I just need my face between your thighs. And then she replies, you're always between my legs in general.
This is crazy.
Then on August the 22nd, 2024 at 3:41 p.m., during this period of time, Celeste went to stay with an aunt in Los Angeles County.
Okay.
And during this time, David sent her a long text. Now, it's unclear whether she was staying there permanently, if she was there on a trip. This is the part where I lost some of the text. It was going so quick. So let me just quickly search and see if another journalist with a laptop typed it out in full in that short period of time. And I'll read it in its entirety. But if not, I'll just read you everything I did write down. Okay, I've just done a pretty extensive Google search, and despite other journalists having laptops in the room, I wasn't allowed to have a laptop, right? Like, the first couple of days I was allowed a laptop, somebody did some dumb shit, and then they ruined it for all the independent journalists. So you could only have a laptop if you were mainstream media with a... But anyway, that's a separate story. But I wasn't allowed a laptop for these last two and a half days, so I had to write everything out by hand. I'm quite actually disappointed, because the whole thing's going on, and all I'm hearing is... in the back row... You guys, nobody published this long-ass message. I wrote down everything I could apart from this message. I'm actually pissed. All you fuckers were... If I had a laptop, I'd have written down everything.
Give a synopsis of the message.
And told you everything. Shout out to all the other journalists there, but it's this type of thing that pisses me off. You lot don't respect me as a journalist because I'm independent and post on YouTube.
We respect you.
None of you got the information that you needed to do. None of you was getting busy with the laptop. What the fuck were you typing?
Right.
What were you typing? You didn't get this. So I'll read you everything that I could, and I'll let you know that there were gaps because it was moving way too quick.
Okay.
It was shown on screen very briefly. The detective read it, and then they moved on. It was gone. I wrote down as much as I could. I don't think I missed anything else other than this long message that basically, while Celeste was staying at her aunt's house in LA, David sent her this big, long, pissed-off message. I'll read you as much of it as I can, but I'm so disappointed that nobody had that and put that up there. I think this is so important. If I was allowed a laptop, I would have given you exactly what was said. Anyway. She said, so David sent her this really long moaning message. He said, I'm going to say one last thing and leave it on my end. You're enough for me. All I need. You used to come after 11 p.m. We used to drink and fuck. I missed a little bit of information where he's talking a little bit more about what they used to get up to. But then he says, because of your situation, we couldn't. And I think he was saying we couldn't be together the way that we really wanted to. I was down, but I made the best I could of the situation. He said, you're everything to me. I kind of missed another part after that. I'm just grabbing as much as I could, but a decent amount of it's here. And then he basically said, you only want to send reels to a boy or something. So if I remember correctly, he basically said, and a part of the thing I missed that I can kind of remember, he basically said, I don't talk to anybody else outside of the music industry. I don't talk to other girls. I don't talk about anything other than music and you. I don't need friends. I don't need anything else but you. But you can't do me the same courtesy. He was kind of getting jealous and then also being like, and I did remember this. I didn't write it down, but I did remember. He said to her, he was like, I've let you go through my phone. You've gone through my phone. You know I've got nothing else going on with other girls. It sounded like she'd maybe accused him of something.
She probably should have been checking about with the other boys. Okay?
Or suspected something. And he was like, you've been through my phone. You know I've got nothing else going on with other chicks. Yada, 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 yada. Right? You're everything to me. I don't need anyone else. You only want to send... she said, you only want to send reels to... My bad. He didn't say you only want to send reels to a boy. He said, I only want to send reels and gifts to you. And you only. So he basically was sort of inferring that she was talking to other guys. Maybe she was entertaining other guys, talking to other people, sending reels to other people, joking around. Because when you're really locked in with someone, you'd be sending the reels back and forth, and things be reminding you of someone, and you'd be sending it to them, all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He said, I only want to send reels to you. I don't do anything with anyone else outside of the music industry. So this is the next bit he said verbatim. He said, you always complain about people who used to be in your life. And he basically explained that, you're always complaining about people who used to be in your life. They're not in your life anymore. I don't need to hear about them anymore, basically. It's like... Well,
okay, so it sounds like to me she probably went to her auntie house, caught up with some old friends, probably one of them, a few of them are guys, and now they're talking, conversating, sharing reels back and forth, but those boys are her age. You are a grown man. At that point, exit stage left right then and there. She got boys her age. Goodbye.
And he's like, why are you so focused on the other people? It sounded like he was referring to boys, and she was focused and pissed off and upset about interactions she'd had with guys back in the day, or maybe traumas, other stuff happening with other men. He basically went on to say I'm just warning you, don't get too close to other males. Don't get close to other males. It was weird. It was a mad little jealousy thing. I missed some of what came after that, unfortunately. No one else had it. And then he basically said, we can spend more time together now. I missed the next part, and basically said, back then when I could only spend 2 nights a week with you, back then that was enough. And so it sounded like he was sort of saying now we can spend more time together, but you're kind of it sounded like he was inferring she was entertaining other guys, or even just chatting to other guys. He was getting jealous. She was getting suspicious of him, and basically was saying now we can spend more time together. Back then 2 nights a week were enough. And if it was still like that, it would be enough. But now we're supposed to have all this time together. He doesn't have time for you. It's now we can spend more time together. It's a problem. It was just this big, long, rambling text with sort of jealousy. And it kind of was a little bit it kind of went one way and then went back the other. I'm sorry I didn't get everything down for that. I tried so hard to just write everything out.
Man, it's not important too.
This message so fast. I pretty much got everything else. But anyway, after that, okay, I believe just over a week passed. and we got to August the 30th, 2024. So
Okay.
at 2:08 a.m., okay, they had a back and forth. And this is where you can see the relationship's deteriorating. So Celeste texts him and said, realistically, I care about you, but I killed my kid for you, in reference to the abortion.
Oh, wow.
And David replies, has to be the right time with the right complications, talking about having a child. And Celeste replied, I still would have been there for it. So
maybe she would have, maybe she only did get one abortion, didn't she? Say, I killed my kid for you. Sometimes they probably become obsessed over it. She probably thinks she's pregnant since she had to go through that one time, maybe.
regretting not having the child and going through with the abortion that he pushed, and he pushed it hard.
Wow, she's regretting it. Wow.
So David would then go on to say, yeah, selfishly, because also the child would have been mine. So then he's kind of accusing her, saying, well, it's selfish of you to say that you would have kept it and been there for the child, because it was also mine, and like I wasn't trying to be there for it. Basically putting it on her. I don't like the way he's talking to her, to be honest with you. But anyway, she then clapped back and said, David, I have to lie to people. She said, some of my handwriting's getting bad because I was getting tired. She said, David, I have to lie to people. She said, David, I have to lie to people and even lie to my kid for the rest of my life. I would do anything to have the kid back.
Wow.
So she's basically saying, like, I've had to lie to my whole family about this abortion. I've had to lie to everybody. I even would have to lie to my own kid. It seemed like she was sort of saying, if I went on to have a kid, I would have to lie to that kid about what had happened in the past.
Why? No, you wouldn't.
You know, their relationship, right? She said, I'd do anything to have it back. And she said, I still took a life of an innocent, literal baby. And it's so sad to hear that because, like, she didn't even realise that she was a literal innocent baby that had her life taken by the man allegedly in that chat.
Facts.
And so David replied to that when she said, still took the life of an innocent, literal baby. David just said, then let's end that there. And then Celeste replied, I can talk about it without crying. Like, previously she couldn't talk about it without crying. Now she can talk about it, so we can talk about it. We don't have to end it there. That's what was being inferred. Celeste went on to say, I'm willing to talk about my child. So she's talking about the child as if it was there. She said, I'm willing to talk about my child. And David said, I don't like talking when you're upset. And then she replied, how do you feel about it? And David said, I'm saddened by it, more sad of how it was conceived. Outside of marriage and how I pictured it, I can't change it, but I can change for the next child. He's still manipulating her and grooming her, and rather than just being real of just like,
that sounds stupid.
Realistically, he made her have that abortion because he can't get caught working with a minor.
Exactly. He's not being real. He's talking about outside of marriage. I was fornicating. What about that? That's outside of marriage. That sounds so dumb. It's
as bright as day. That's what was going on. But here's the thing: he's manipulating her, saying, she's saying, "How are you feeling about it? Like, don't you feel bad about killing this child? Like,
he don't care. He's happy.
Shit about that." But he's saying, I'm saddened by it. I'm more sad of how it came about. We weren't married, you know. He's pulling that. It's a whole manipulative relationship. And it was reaffirmed during this period of time that they were still having this adult relationship throughout this period. Now, on her birthday, her 14th birthday, September the 7th, 2024, she messages him and says, I haven't taken a pregnancy test in a minute. And he said, because you haven't missed a period, lol. And Celeste replied, I will take one when I see you. Now,
it's like they're obsessed. She's obsessed with pregnancy.
This is a child, but some women are, and I've experienced it in my life, and it's not a problem. But some women are a little bit more paranoid than others when it comes to pregnancy.
Absolutely.
Some women maybe are a little bit more attuned to their body, their feelings, the sensations in their body. And, you know, I've experienced women in my lifetime that are maybe a little bit more like, yo, let's take a test. I'll be honest, I'm low-key like, if things aren't happening on time, on schedule, I'm probably going to, like, I might tell you to take a test. But anyway, that's besides the point. This is a minor. But she's basically saying, oh, I haven't taken a test. He's like, yeah, because you haven't missed your period. Like, it's not a big deal. Yeah. She's like, I'll take one. Clearly, she's got it in her head. And no doubt she's got medical trauma for being sent to have multiple abortions. No shit. But anyway, so, okay.
Okay, we're drinking.
I made a note that kind of, as we got to this later section, David was writing in his notebook loads, and they didn't actually let him take his notes with him. The lawyers had to take his notes away from him at the end because he's not allowed any discovery in his cell. He's probably not even allowed notes about their dirty text messages. But anyway, you know, just under a week after her birthday, when she turns 14, on September the 12th, Celeste messages David and says, I'm scared I haven't got pregnant in a minute, and we fuck a lot. So, and then David replies, because we have sex when you're least likely to get pregnant. And she replies, oh, okay, I was scared.
Okay, yeah.
And so while this is all going on, David kind of just got his head down. He's writing in his notebook. I don't know if he's doodling, writing notes.
So he must be tracking her damn periods too and her ovulation.
Scribbling, writing songs. Who fucking knows?
Right.
But on September the 22nd, 2024, she messages him again. So am I going to get pregnant? And David says, that's why we sex on days that you're not ovulating. No. So the detective points out that on September the 28th is when they fly to London. They fly out there for a period of time.
That's crazy. He's able to take her.
2 weeks, I believe, from September 28th
to
October. So he is over there with this unaccompanied minor in London, having his way, doing whatever he wants.
Where
for 2
is
weeks.
her parents?
Disgraceful that was allowed to happen. I don't know what airline he flew with. I've got some questions for the fucking airline, to be honest with you. Actually, we do know. I'm pretty sure we did actually see it. It was. I won't say it because I don't want to accidentally defame somebody because I've forgotten the exact airline it was, and I got in trouble for showing that airline ticket, and they still haven't reinstated that video. But that's another story.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the airline, he could have been traveling with his cousin, his sister, his friend. The airline, unless they got missing posters still, they got an alert with her ID card, her passport. I mean, the airline, she got a passport and all that. They're just going to let her go through. That's nothing to do with them. Where the hell is her parents?
I want to have a word with that airline for sure. How on earth did they allow that to happen? But anyway, the detective pointed out that they went to London for 2 weeks together.
And then he has money, so they probably could have also took the private jet as well.
Then they came back, and then they flew out to Texas to meet David's family. And it wasn't entirely clear exactly when that trip took place. But what is clear, it seems like the full breakdown of their relationship kind of happened in the aftermath of that. Might not have been the reason, but it doesn't...
And for him to say that, of course, because he probably introduced that girl to his family, and they like, wait, what the hell he got going on? Listen, son, this is not okay. Because it's like, you introducing this child, you are 19 and she's 14? Absolutely not.
I get the impression that trip, that visit with his family didn't go well. That might be a saving grace for his mother and his family and all of the people around to be like, yo, like, he turned up with this minor and we was like, what the fuck? And we told him break it off, and then eventually that relationship deteriorated rapidly from there. We don't know. But what we do know is that they basically communicated again on November the 7th, 2024. And Celeste messaged David and said, I literally had sex with you daily for almost a year straight. And David replied, you treat this like it's the first breakup. It's the 8th time. So she's sort of saying to him, almost like, I don't know about bargaining shit, but she's almost saying to him like, bro, how we breaking up? Like you was hitting it every single day for ages. I guess,
wow.
You know, during the trip.
8 breakups
so
is
she
crazy.
said a year straight. I literally had S with you for almost a year straight every day. And then he's like, you're acting like this is the first breakup. This is the 8th time we've broken up. So some time passes, and then in December of 2024, they have a back and forth where it sounds like they met up and it didn't go well. So Celeste messages David and says, I thought you invited me to your house to cuddle. She says, I was going to go home. We could have just kissed and left it at that. And David replied, you asked if I wanted sex, and I folded. And then she replied, sex is a connection. And then David replied, then we stopped and you cried and I told you and then you asked again. I held you and then you asked again. So she's basically saying sex is a connection. Like, I'm guessing, I'm inferring that she had said, I want to make a connection. I want to reconnect with you. Mm-hmm. And then it's like they stopped having sex. She cried. He said, I held you. And then you asked again. And then she said, no, we made out. I was supposed to go home. And then David replies, like, this happens every time you and I kiss. David said, like, this happens every time you initiate a kiss and I go with it. You ask me to be your boyfriend. I just follow your lead. Basically confirming that they were boyfriend and girlfriend, but he's blaming her, saying, I follow your lead. You, sir, are a grown man and this is a minor. This is a 13-year-old who just turned 14. And you're talking about you initiate the kiss?
But it kind of seemed like that's not what he wanted at this point, too. It sounds like I'm following your lead, but I didn't want the kiss. I didn't want to be back together.
With it, you asked me to be your boyfriend. I just follow your lead. Grow the fuck up. You're 19, bro. This is a minor. What are you talking about? So this
And he has no choice, kind of, to follow her lead, I guess, because he's afraid. He knows that if he probably pisses her off, she's gonna go tell.
Actually the final message that was shared between them. On March the 14th, 2025, they were still communicating, still discussing the sexual relationship. So at 8:22 p.m. on that day, Celeste basically texts him and says, we can be online friends, but not in person. I just want to move on. And David just replies, okay. Then Celeste replies, this isn't happening. I feel like we can't be in a balanced relationship. Maybe if things were different, but all we do is have sex and hang out. I want more for myself. And David just replied, boundary setting is terrible. And then Celeste replies, it's more than that. And that was the end
Wow.
of the hearing. It was damning stuff. Everything in order, considering...
Oh, wow. So that is the end, guys, as far as the text messaging. And I think he said that was March, I forgot the date, but March 2025 was their last message, their last encounter, which I personally believe that David did unalive Celeste, so that was the last thing that we know of, but he definitely seen her again, and that's where the unaliving happened, okay? But please do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. This was like a long video. I knew it was going to be long, but I wanted to pretty much react to those text messages because it was really big, and I believe that he is going to go to trial. I'm going to try my best to cover the trial. Tell me you guys' thoughts in the comments about, have y'all been following the trial? What do y'all know about it? What can y'all tell me about it? Like, this is kind of new to me. I've never heard of him before until the unaliving has happened. But y'all let me know what is going on. What do y'all know? Y'all are really good for that. Leaving down below, leaving comments down below, letting me know what's going on and telling me stuff that I don't know about. But if they do go to trial, I will try my best to cover it. If y'all know something about her parents or his parents, because I'm still gonna blame both parents at this point. I mean, he's an adult, so she was a child, so I'm gonna blame her parents until I know anything different. But thank you guys for the support, for watching the video. Stay out of trouble, and don't forget, pour me some wine. I'm watching true crime. Bye, y'all.